America's fastest growing news program. With Steve Gruber.
You've got to put America first. You do that by voting and bringing your friends to do the same.
Delivering the latest news, observations, and opinions. With the entire Real America's Voice team, America's Voice Live starts now.
Wednesday, July 12, 2023. Let's get to the day's top stories. And thank you for being here. The House Judiciary Committee grilling FBI Director Christopher Wray today. It's been good sport. And it's all for his targeting of conservatives and the indictment of Donald Trump. We'll discuss a lot more of that coming up in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, Florida's Attorney General wants answers from Mark Zuckerberg on why his social media apps seem to be flooded with human trafficking efforts. Why is that, Mark? And later, a man who identifies as non-binary is being kicked out of a sorority. We'll ask a campus reform correspondent why that is. I don't know. Maybe the picture tells you everything you need to know. These stories and more coming up on America's Voice Live, where it's time for a reality check. And we need to do that on a whole host of issues because far too many people are trying to feed you their narrative, what they want you to believe, what it is they're selling. And furthermore, they're trying to convince you that every single day that of the 8 million people on the planet, they're the ones and the only ones that have it figured out. And let's be honest, the only person that has it all figured out right now clearly is me. Okay, I'm not being serious, of course. But I am serious about digging through lots of comments and stories to try to pull out what is most likely true, expose those that are not being honest or have ulterior motives or are flat out getting paid to say something. Some of the people you're going to hear from today are among the usual suspects, those lining their pockets at your expense and the expense of the rest of the world. And I have to pass off their greed and arrogance as being what's good for you. Oh, it's good for you. But you know damn well that is not the case. Other voices I will share are just in it for the power, the fame, the glory, and more than anything, the credit for whatever it is they want the credit for. Praise me. This is all human nature, of course, and of course, not all human nature is good. In fact, I could easily argue that much of what we see from people is anything but good. Now, we begin this week exposing the dishonest media outlets like Rolling Stone, The Washington Post, and CNN, among others, for blatantly dishonest reporting about the new anti-human trafficking film, Sound of Freedom. It still makes me angry that anyone would stand up against ending the exploitation of children as sex slaves. Think about that. And then slamming a real-life American hero, Timothy Ballard, for putting his life on the line in the jungles of South America so he could save kids trapped in sexual slavery. But that's just one example, my friends. Another person that has drawn the ire, the vitriol, and the flat-out hatred of the left is a man named Andrew Tate. I'm not sure what his crimes are, except that he is a champion mixed martial arts fighter and a guy who embraces masculinity and laughs off the left because he has what he calls FU money and doesn't care one little bit if they try to shut him up. He's not very interested in sitting down and shutting up, it seems, or that he is smeared with all kinds of labels, doesn't care, unflattering names, and for that, I figured, well, let's listen to what he has to say this week. And Tucker Carlson had him on in an episode that dropped last night on Twitter. Here's one of the reasons why the left and others hate this guy. Listen.
If you're going to sit there and tell me that I need to give more money to the government to stop the sun from being hot, I'm going to argue with you that I'd rather keep my money. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So this is the problem with all these issues. It's nearly anything. When I argue against them, people are like, you don't care about the issue. I do. But you're not smart enough to understand that the legislation around this issue is so large, it hasn't even been read by most of the people voting for it.
Yeah.
And there's something in the middle of it which is going to damage every single person's life, which has nothing at all to do with the issue itself. And most people don't understand that.
So the whole interview is about thinking for yourself and not being totally blindly compliant to the media and government narrative. Tucker Carlson, you may have noticed, really isn't very good at this whole sit down, shut up, and do what you're told to do either, it appears. Now, I'm guessing he has a lot of that, what did he call it, FU money? Yeah, Tucker's got quite a bit of that because he is giving Fox News the proverbial middle finger in spades when it comes to being told he's not allowed to be on Twitter. That's breaking your contract. I don't think he cares. How about another reality check, this time from the other side of the looking glass, where reality is upside down and backwards, where logic doesn't have a home, and Well, facts just don't matter. But power and money, they're very important. In fact, they are the only things that matter. For example, John Kerry is desperate to cram his idiotic, reckless, dangerous Green New Deal down your throat and mine. What does he care? It's never going to affect him after all on his Gulfstream 20, now is it? Listen.
It comes from one thing. This is not complicated. It is the way we have chosen to propel our vehicles, heat our homes, light our factories and businesses. It's the provision of power, burning fossil fuel without capturing the emissions. We have two choices. You either capture the emissions or you don't create them in the first place. And that's the challenge that we face now.
You know, he's right. It's not complicated because he is dishonest. And look, John Kerry's also been wrong about, well, pretty much everything he's ever decided to speak about. And again, I want to publicly bet John Kerry, listen, John, in 10 years, we're not going to see any significant rise of the oceans. The sky's not going to fall or any significant effects of climate change at all. Johnny boy, you wanted to take that bet because I am. Speaking of reality, it seems reality in Washington should be easy enough to figure out, don't you think? Just ask the right people the right questions. They'll just tell you, right? That's the way it's supposed to work. And they can let you know what's going on and why. Well, here's a reality check for you. When it comes to transparency in government, there really isn't any. So let's ask some questions. How about the cocaine investigation in the White House? Let's turn to somebody who always has the answers, Karine Jean-Pierre. What about the coke, Karine?
Into the cocaine at the White House. The Secret Service indicated if they're closer to...
Yeah, I don't have any updates. As you know, as you just mentioned, Secret Service is under their purview. They're certainly investigating the situation. I just don't have anything updated. I would refer you to the Secret Service on that particular question.
Man, it feels good, doesn't it, to have the adults back in charge of the White House? Answering all of our questions. How about those F-16s headed to Ukraine to fight the dirty Russians? Any update on that, Karine?
What's the status of the F-16s going to Ukraine and the training for the Ukrainian pilots?
I don't have anything more than what we've shared on that in the past. I'm just not going to share anything, any more details on that. Just don't have anything new on that.
Nothing to share, nothing to preview, no details. Isn't her job to answer questions? Because if it's not, she's knocking it out of the park. Peeling it right, there goes the tater. Boom, over the far wall. Maybe I just have a fundamental misunderstanding of what she's supposed to be doing all day long. But let's be clear, it isn't just her. What about charging a man that worked at China's CEFC energy company for not registering as a foreign agent? But Hunter and Jim Biden worked there too. They didn't register. Why weren't they charged? Well, here's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan weighing in on that important question. Listen.
Yesterday, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York indicted a man named Gal Luft for violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act by working without registration for a company called CEFC China Energy. The president's son and brother worked for the same firm without registration, and the president was invoked in that infamous shoot-down text message receiving the transfer of $5 million to the Biden family. The president allegedly met with their business partners, was penciled in for a 10% cut, and was listed as a participant on a call about an attempt by U.S. natural gas by CFC. What's the White House's take on potential FARA liability for the first family of the president here?
I've not seen that and can't comment on it.
Yeah, we've got nothing. Got nothing to share. Okay. What about the new report that the United States government worked with Ukraine hand in hand to censor American social media accounts of ordinary people like me and you? What about that, working with the Ukrainians to censor American citizens? Surely they'd have something to say about that. Here it is.
It says that the FBI partnered with the Ukrainian intelligence agency to assess disinformation and censor those social media accounts. Apparently, some accounts of journalists, even one of the State Department, were wrapped up in this initiative. What are you able to tell us about the initiative, and especially the White House and NSA involvement?
I have not seen that report. All I will tell you is that the United States and the Biden administration strongly support press freedom, media freedom, and would support no steps that would be taken to undermine that.
I see nothing. I see nothing. I hear nothing. I know nothing. You can't get any answers from this White House or really anyone in the Biden administration about anything of importance except what flavor ice cream the president had at lunch before he went nighty-night at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The reality of the West Wing of the White House is that nobody believes Joe Biden's actually running things over there at all. In fact, every time he's seen in public lately, it's quite clear. He is confused, clearly incapable of finding where's he going. Here. There, it's like Mr. Magoo is out there. The only way Feeble Joe makes it off stage and out of a room is with somebody playing the seeing eye dog for him. And the reality is the whole damn world is watching it happen. People like Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, the Ayatollahs, even Kim Jong-un, when Kim Jong-un isn't passed out from American whiskey and food coma from the piles of food he got delivered from Europe. And one more reality check before we go. The reality is, during the pandemic, millions of Americans were led like sheep to believe anything they were told. They just got in line. I can't even believe this happened in America. Mask work. The vaccine will stop the spread. It's a miracle drug. And lockdowns are good for everyone, especially children. The reality is America came in almost dead, and I mean dead last in dealing with COVID. That's a fact. So let's bring this reality check to a close with one more long and in-depth and very accurate comment from Andrew Tate, who lived in Sweden during most of the pandemic. Listen to this.
They had no restrictions, no masks, no vaccine passports, no social distancing, nightclubs are full, restaurants are open, perfectly complete normal society. Nobody talks about this anymore. Nobody talks about, wait, Sweden never did a thing. Everything functioned perfectly fine the entire time. And they don't have it. Where's their mass? Where's their their winter of severe illness and death?
Yes.
They never had one. It's a cold country. Never had one. So we were living in Sweden, living completely normal lives, seeing the internet and seeing this insanity. And we're like, well, surely if we just put up a few videos of us partying in Sweden in nightclubs, this will wake people up. People ignored their own eyes. That's the scariest thing about everything, is that they can get to a level where, with the media machine, where people will genuinely ignore their own eyes. I don't understand how you can get people so brainwashed that they will see that the sky is blue, and then they'll watch that the sky is green, and then they'll look at it again and go, the sky's green. It's crazy to me, but COVID proves they can do that. And that's why the war is getting so intense, because the principled people are saying, how can you still believe in the things that you're saying? Here is all the logical, empirical evidence that that is a lie. But these people are ideologically brainwashed, and they don't want to take enough. They don't have the bravery it takes to wake up and accept that they're being lied to. So they'd rather just, to the end of time, repeat what they're told. And it becomes more and more intense as it becomes more and more ridiculous. That's so scary. As it becomes more and more ridiculous, the more intense both sides get.
Yes.
Right?
Everything he said right there was absolutely true, but I have to ask you one question before we move on. Why is it that wealthy men wear fancy shoes with no socks? Anyhow, just throwing it out there. Everything he said right there was, I'm serious. Why do they wear those fancy shoes with no socks? So their feet will stick to the leather? I digress. But everything he said there was true. Go ahead and check, because that is the reality of the situation. But the only good thing about all of this is we've seen who they really are and who the sheep are and what we have to fight for to get people back awake to save this country. That's the reality check for today. All right, coming up after the break, FBI Director Christopher Wray testifying today in front of the House Judiciary Committee. People want to know if his agency has been targeting Republicans. Paul Kavanaugh joining me next with that on America's Voice Live.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my brand new product, My Slippers. What makes my slippers different from those other slippers is my exclusive 4-layer design. I wanted my slippers to have everything you'd ever want in a pair of slippers.
When I first put my slippers on, I was like, wow, they feel great, and most importantly, they have the support that I need in a pair of slippers.
I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know we're having the biggest My Slipper closeout sale ever. Get our all-season My Slippers and sandals at clearance prices. They're made with our patented impact gel that absorbs and releases pressure so you can comfortably wear them all day long. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our all-season My Slippers, originally on sale for $59.98, now only $25, or our sandals for just $19.50. Quantities are extremely limited, so please order now.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we grew sick and tired of flying flags that were made overseas, flags that would rip and tear easily, so we really made a commitment to quality.
All of our flags are finished with bar tacking at all of the stress points, and they are sewn using double needle lock stitching.
All of our flags materials are sourced in America, and they are made by American seamstresses. So we are American made from beginning to end.
Shop now at showallegiance.com. There's a new victim of identity theft every 3 seconds. And checking your credit score or bank statements may not be enough to alert you. That's because identity threats appear in more places than you realize. Identity thieves can use your information to open loans, transfer home titles, even commit crimes.
Someone stole my information and tried to buy a car in my name.
LifeLock monitors for threats to your identity, including ones you may miss, and alerts you if there's an issue. And if you're a victim, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it.
If something happens, you have somebody fighting for you.
All plans backed by LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package, including reimbursement for stolen funds.
I know LifeLock has me covered.
LifeLock, identity theft protection starts here. Call the number on your screen or visit lifelock.com/25now and use promo code 25now to save 25% on your first year of identity theft protection. Enroll now.
All right, continuing on now on this Wednesday, FBI Director Christopher Wray testifying today in front of the House Judiciary Committee. Has his agency been targeting Republicans? Well, it certainly seems that way, doesn't it? Republicans want to know what the director has to say about that targeting of conservatives, including the former president in his indictment, and why the current president's son seems to be getting away with, well, anything and everything. Also, Matt Gaetz asked the director about the number of FISA queries that were illegally obtained under his tenure. Oh, this is fun. Watch.
How many illegal FISA queries have occurred under your leadership of the FBI?
Well, there are reports that have come out with different numbers about compliance incidents.
More than 1 million illegal ones? Because that's what the Inspector General said. The Inspector General said that in the 3.4 million of these queries, more than 1 million were in error. Do you have any basis to disagree with that assessment by the Inspector General?
I'm not sure, actually, that's a correct characterization of the Inspector General's findings on that.
The internet will remind you of that in moments.
Wray is just the latest in a long string of former FBI agents, directors, and so forth, Twitter executives and federal officials who have testified in front of the committee on the agency's abuse of power. Joining me to discuss that now is Paul Kamenar. Paul, good to have you here.
Thank you, Steve. Glad to be here.
I don't know how much of this you caught, but I saw some real nuggets, some juicy fun in this back and forth, not just with Matt Gaetz either, but apparently the director of the FBI has nothing to say about just about everything of importance. What do you say?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, just one example, he was asked about this recent district court opinion that came out about a week ago that blasted the FBI and other government agencies for censoring speech, having the social media companies censor speech of scientists and doctors about the COVID hoax and the stuff that Fauci was spreading. And he says, hey, I haven't even read the opinion. I mean, I fell off my chair. Here was a court opinion that basically said that the FBI and the government agencies have been unlawfully censoring this kind of speech, and he couldn't give it a 15-minute read. And then it just gets worse from there, Steve. I mean, he kind of ducked the Durham report, which we all know indicted the FBI for opening up the Russian hoax without any proper factual basis. There was the FISA warrants illegally in that case with Carter Page, and then the one that was just mentioned in your clip. So this guy is clueless, and when it comes down to the actual information about Hunter Biden, et cetera, he says, "Oh, we're not going protecting anybody," and he kind of ducked it, saying it's in litigation. And to be fair, a lot of that with Hunter Biden is the fault of the prosecutors in that case. But nevertheless,
well, he
the
ducked
FBI,
a lot there, Paul. Did he answer? I said he ducked a lot, just like you said. He ducked this. He ducked this. He ducked. Did he answer anything?
Well, not really. I mean, he defended the FBI, saying that they'd go after terrorists and drug dealers and so forth, and that's true. The lying FBI agents are doing the hard work day in and day out. But in terms of what's going on at the very top of the food chain there, he ducked the responsibility of what he should be doing. I mean, it was just disgraceful how that was handled.
I agree with that. Let me ask you about something else related to the FBI. There's a movement afoot by Republicans to move the FBI headquarters to its campus in Huntsville, Alabama. They've had a presence there for, 50 or 60 years. And the effort by Jim Jordan and others is to move it there to get it out of Washington, to get it away from all of that swamp gas, I guess. What do you think of that idea?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea. I mean, that's what's with all the other government agencies that are here inside the Beltway. There have been proposals to move other agencies, Department of Agriculture, EPA, and so forth, to out in the country where their work is better suited. But I don't think that's going to come about. I think the main thing that needs to be done is to clean house at the top. The people that are in charge there and hold them accountable for the kind of misconduct that's going on. And I think that is at least a reasonable first step, and one that the next president can do the first day in office.
Well, right. The problem is the next president, painfully, could be years down the line. Now, we all are anticipating a change come January 20th of 2025. But if not, Christopher Wray will be there for the duration. And what would that mean? If Christopher Wray is there for another 4, 5, 6 years, what would that mean to the FBI, to the Department of Justice, to the weaponization of the American government against people like, ordinary citizens like you and I, Paul?
Well, I mean, if the White House is occupied by a Republican, I think you can kiss Chris Wray goodbye, although I was disconcerting to hear that Chris Christie said, if he's elected president, he'll keep Chris Wray on the job. He's doing a fine job. I
have good news. I have good news.
Huh?
Chris Christie won't be elected dog catcher, so there's good news. That's not going to happen.
Right, I see. Right. But if Biden stays on, of course, Chris Wray will stay on, and that's going to be another headache there. I mean, the going after conservatives is the whole litany laundry list, going after parents at school board meetings, going after Catholic worshipers in the Richmond area as domestic terrorists. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And Chris Wray is washing his hands of this.
Yeah, well, we should wash our hands of Christopher Wray. I agree with you on that, and I hope that it happens sooner as opposed to later. Paul, thank you for being here as always.
My pleasure, Steve. Good to see you.
All right. Now, for those of you watching and listening right now, make note of this. Immediately following AVL today, there'll be a very special edition of America's Top 10 with Wayne Allen Root. So make plans to stick around because Wayne is interviewing the former president, Donald J. Trump. It's coming up here today at 4 o'clock, right here on Real America's Voice. You don't want to miss it. Now, after the break, NATO has refused to set a timetable for Ukraine's membership. The question is, wouldn't most Western powers be considered immediately at war with Russia upon Ukraine's entry? The answer is yes. Anyway, Zelensky isn't happy about it. We'll have that story straight ahead.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how you can get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Turn on Bionic Spotlight Extreme 360, the motion-activated home defense light that looks just like a security camera. It detects even the slightest motion and automatically triggers 6 ultra-bright LED high beams. Call or go online and order your Bionic Extreme 360 for just $19.99. Plus, get free shipping on your entire order.
To order, call 1-800-449-4256 or go online to buybionic360.com. Call now.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is angry with NATO countries for not fast-tracking his nation's membership into the Western Alliance, despite the obvious reservations for doing so. NATO has reportedly refused to set a timetable for Ukraine's membership, considering most Western powers would be considered immediately at war with Russia upon Ukraine's entry, Article 5, that sort of thing. Instead, NATO has agreed to create a Ukraine-NATO Council in Lithuania, but that's not enough for Zelensky. He took to Twitter to rant that, quote, Ukraine also deserves respect. He says we received signals that certain wording is being discussed without Ukraine. And I would like to emphasize that this wording is about the invitation to become a NATO member, not about Ukraine's membership. It's unprecedented and absurd when time frame is not set neither for the invitation nor for Ukraine's membership. And while other countries continue to pay Ukraine's bills, he went on to accuse the alliance of motivating Russia to continue its terror. Because uncertainty is weakness, he says. Talk about a guy who wants more money. What? This guy's got a hell of a deal going on. Grifter. The Secret Service will be briefing the House Oversight Committee tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the cocaine that was found in the White House just last week. James Comer has demanded answers from the security team no later than July 14th, despite the Secret Service's attempt to push it to late July. Now they've offered to move it up to July 13th, prompting many to speculate that they have something on the case. Bloomberg's Jason Leupold says that his Freedom of Information Act requests have been denied because Secret Service says that any information releases would interfere with enforcement proceedings. Bull, I say. Leupold says he intends on appealing that response. With badges on everyone inside and cameras everywhere, it'd be awfully hard to imagine they don't have anything substantial. Hard to believe they don't know exactly who they're dealing with. All right. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody calling all of Mark Zuckerberg's Meta platforms a public safety threat. Hallelujah, I agree. This comes after a statewide survey found that his social media apps are the preferred pathway to what? Human trafficking online. No wonder they hate the movie. Moody has given Zuckerberg until September 5th to discuss, quote, what preventative measures, if any, the tech giant is taking to end human trafficking on sites such as Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp. And don't forget the all-new Threads, a brand new place to traffic human beings, mostly children. The findings of the Sunshine State's Council on Human Trafficking review reveal that Facebook was the top platform used in recruitment of human trafficking victims from 2019 through 2022. Number one, Facebook, well done. And Facebook and Instagram combined make up 60% of instances included in the study. A Meta spokesperson responded saying, "We prohibit all forms of human exploitation in no uncertain terms, and we work aggressively to fight these abhorrent crimes on and off our platforms." The response continued that, quote, "The claims in this press release inaccurately depict our efforts to remove this kind of illegal activity and work with law enforcement so that the criminals behind it can be arrested and prosecuted." Meanwhile, in California, House Democrats are refusing to pass Senate Bill 14, which would make human trafficking of a minor a serious felony in the state. Hear that again. House Democrats in California refusing to pass SB 14, which would make human trafficking of a minor a serious felony in the state. The bill, which would count a conviction as a strike under the state's three strikes laws, passed the Senate with bipartisan support in April, but the 6 Democrats in the Assembly Public Safety Committee refused to move it out of committee. How could you do that? The bill was granted reconsideration for next year, but many more children will be ultimately victimized in the meantime, with no real serious penalties for their abusers or their traffickers. What the hell is wrong with these people? Would they do that if it were their children? Coming up after the break, a man was kicked out of a sorority in New York. That's right. A man was kicked out of a sorority. And now he is crying discrimination. Here he is. Yep, that's how crazy things have gotten on campus. Emily Fowler from Campus Reform back with me with details coming up next on America's Voice Live.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we grew sick and tired of flying flags that were made overseas, flags that would rip and tear easily, so we really made a commitment to quality.
All of our flags are finished with bar tacking at all of the stress points, and they are sewn using double needle lock stitching.
All of our flags materials are sourced in America, and they are made by American seamstresses. So we're American made from beginning to end.
Shop now at showallegiance.com.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you all know that you have made My Pillow 2.0 a huge success. And because of your amazing support, we've expanded My Pillow's USA manufacturing and jobs. To make room for this, we're clearing out our Percale bed sheets. And to thank you, I'm giving them to you at closeout prices. King size, only $39 a set. Queens, $35 a set. Full size, $29, and twin size, just $25. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime offer. Get these My Pillow bed sheets now. Once they're gone for good.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Call 800-581-7352.
Well, the national headquarters of a sorority at St. Lawrence University has removed a man admitted into the Canton, New York chapter. The student alleges that it was an act of discrimination on the part of the Chi Omega headquarters office. The student, Fabian Guzman, had his membership revoked by the Chi Omega national office at the beginning of the month with no option to appeal the decision. Finally, some backbone. This person, who claims to be non-binary, was a member of the chapter beforehand, so the reversal came as a shock. Does this even look like this person is trying to be trans? Joining me with details of this story is campus reform correspondent Emily Fowler. Emily, this looks like a guy who's not even trying to disguise his attempts to get inside the sorority and have himself surrounded with sorority girls. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Thank you for being here. What say you?
I would agree 100%, and I would also agree with Chi Omega that they made the right call, thankfully, regarding the situation, because this is a young man who has decided to just come to the sorority chapter and to be admitted as a sorority member. And like you said, it doesn't even look like he's trying. He doesn't even look trans. He actually identifies as non-binary, I believe, and he thinks that that is enough to make him able to just join this sorority. And, you know, it's really infuriating for me as a woman that we're even having this conversation, because it proves that so many people think that womanhood is just a badge or a costume that men can put on whenever they want to. And that is not the case at all. Womanhood is a beautiful gift from God, that it is ordained from conception. It's just infuriating to me, and I can't even believe that we're having this conversation.
I can't either. I mean, it's a guy in a dress. I was going to call it for what it is. It's a guy in a dress, right? And he wants access, and now he's screaming discrimination. And look, I don't care if he's taking hormone blockers. I don't care about it. Look, the sorority is a private organization, right? They don't have to put up with this, my understanding. And why would they? Look, it's a female-only organization. And I would say that the most basic of review would show quite clearly this is a guy. Again, I don't know why we're having the conversation either, Emily. I mean, nothing says womanhood quite like, you know, hairy knuckles like that, I suppose. But you tell me.
Exactly. And this isn't just about the facts of the case. Yes, does it seem ridiculous? Absolutely. But the most important thing is that this is unsafe for women. These universities should be standing up for women and saying this is not okay for you to have to live with a biological male in a sorority. Let's keep women's spaces for women. Women should be able to come to college and thrive and feel comfortable. But this isn't the case. And thankfully, Chi Omega made the right call. But there are other universities, such as University of Wyoming. They have a Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter. And their sorority members are actually suing because the sorority, you know, let a man come and live with them. And 7 of these girls feel unsafe on a daily basis and have been saying, hey, this guy is obviously sexually attracted to us just from the way he looks at us while, you know, we're trying to go about our daily lives. And this is making us feel uncomfortable and unsafe. And so I'm thrilled that Chi Omega made this decision. And I think that universities all over the U.S. should follow in their footsteps.
Emily, bear with me here. I'm going to be a little graphic, all right? Just bear with me because I'm going to ask you a couple of important questions because I'm going to talk about the sorority in Wyoming. The trans individual at that sorority in Wyoming, according to those women who have filed the lawsuit, stands there looking at them with a full erection that's obvious protruding through his clothing. How many women do you know that get full erections? I mean, let's just get right to it. Here he is, fully erect. And I mean, of course these girls are creeped out. Of course they're disgusted. It's a guy being permitted to sit there and be completely inappropriate around women who wanted to be around women. If they wanted to be around guys, it'd be in a co-ed dorm. It's not what they're paying for. It's not what they want. It's not what they expect. And last time I checked, full erection for a woman was still not possible. Am I wrong?
No. You are not wrong at all. And I think that is what people need to understand, is that no matter what you want to call yourself, it does not change the reality of the situation. And women all over the U.S. are being compromised. Here at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform, we've been covering this trend across the nation. And it's not only at the Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter at the University of Wyoming. Women are continually either having to silence themselves in order to not get in trouble or not stand up for their safety. There's another incident at the University of Cincinnati where a professor gave a female student a 0 just for using the term biological woman on an assignment. I mean, this is crazy. I can't believe that we are to the point where we can't even, as women, we can't even acknowledge womanhood as something that is existent and something that is factual and something that is reality. We're not even able to define it, even though it's what we are. And we're not only compromising our safety, but it's erasing, like I said earlier, what womanhood is and the beautiful impact that it has on society. And it's extremely disrespectful to us.
And here's the thing, shifting gears a little bit. Look, biological dimorphism is first grade science. Simply put, male and female have differences. A male and female duck, they look different. Dogs, cats, birds, bats, it doesn't matter. There are biological differences. Biological dimorphism is first grade science. And the fact that we're denying this on any level, to deny women their place that they've paid for to feel secure because they don't want to be around men in their home for whatever reason, it's their right. And at the same time, we're erasing women. We're destroying Title IX. We're destroying the ability for women to compete equally on the field of play and in sports. And frankly, it's got to stop, Emily, because it's gone entirely too far. I have 2 daughters. It incenses me that we have to have such an inane conversation with these people who think, well, you're a bigot if you don't allow this man to run track or to swim in the swimming pool against, those competing at the... No, I'm not a bigot. I'm a guy who believes in fair play, and women deserve their own space. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think the solution is simple. Women deserve their own spaces. And, there are people out there that say, oh, what do you do with trans students? Well, I think it's very simple. You have women's spaces for women, and you have male spaces for men. And lots of universities these days, unfortunately, but it's true, offer co-ed housing that's, you can go there regardless of what your sexual identity, if we want to put it that way, is. So there are spaces for these people. It's not that they don't have anywhere to go. So let's keep women in their space, trans people in the spaces provided for them, and men in their spaces. And I think that is a very clear solution, and I think that all universities should adopt that.
Very simple, isn't it? Doesn't take somebody in college to figure out the basics. Emily, I appreciate you being here. It's a topic that's going to fill up my emails. I get it. I'm going to catch hell from some people that are just unenlightened, and that's okay. Thank you for telling the truth. It's important.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Have you back anytime. Coming up after the break, another Democrat has defected and joined the Republican Party. And based on what you just heard, why the hell wouldn't you? Georgia State Representative Misha Maynor was found guilty of having a mind of her own. That's not to be tolerated on the left. That story and so much more coming up on America's Voice Live.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kirk. At Turning Point USA, our mission is simple. We love America and we love America's founding principles. We educate college and high school students all across America to defend those principles and stand up for freedom. For the past 11 years, we've been in the trenches fighting the culture war. If you support this fight with a gift of any amount, you get this 1776 shirt. Go to tpusa.com right now for your 1776 shirt. We are doing the work to save America. Join us at tpusa.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how you can get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Well, another Democrat has now defected and joined the Republican Party. Georgia State Representative Misha Maynor declared her departure yesterday. She posted this video. Listen.
I am State Representative Misha Maynor, and I represent District 56 in the heart of our state's capital. We have been on a journey together for 2 terms, and we've had some wins. But there is a better path, and we can do so much more. That is why today I am announcing that I am joining the Republican Party.
Yeah. She tweeted that decision wasn't political, but moral. And she's right there in Atlanta, Georgia. Man, is she going to be in trouble. She said she will never apologize for being a black woman with a mind of her own. Good for her. God bless America. During an interview on Sean Hannity's show yesterday, she had this to say. Listen.
The 2 things that I have actually run on in my district in Atlanta is education and public safety. It doesn't matter what part of my district that people are in. Parents are asking for choices. Right now, there are schools that only 3% of children are meeting proficiency. That's not acceptable. The option that the Democrats are giving is keep them there until we fix it. We'll get it better soon. But it's been like that for 50 years. That's not acceptable. I didn't vote for it. The other thing, to your point, public safety. The Democrats wanted to defund the police. I was on Twitter with one of my former colleagues the other day, and she said, I never voted not to defund the police, and some constituents brought up her vote and said, this is the vote that you did.
Well, Maynor compared her situation to the former president, Ronald Reagan, stating that she didn't leave the party left her. She criticized the party for embracing left-wing radical ideas, lawlessness, and prioritizing the interests of illegal immigrants over those of Americans. So she hit it right out of the park. New York University hosted a 6-week anti-racism workshop for parents last semester, combating racism by hosting an all-white seminar and charging the white folks $360. The Alliance of White Anti-Racists Everywhere hosted the From Integration to Anti-Racism class designed specifically for white public school parents committed to becoming anti-racist. We're now officially living in a National Lampoon skit. Here we are. These people are, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, yeah, idiots. Idiots. NYU may be cited for gross violations of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act for racial segregation. Some people likened it to the class to the Jim Crow era, whites only, brazen violation of civil rights law. In an attempt to combat racism, white folk took it upon themselves to hold a class to shame other white folk into admitting their white folkisms. Classic. It's a Who's On First comedy show, folks, and if you don't know what that is, I can't help you. My job here is done. I might as well just leave for the day. No, I won't, though. In a recent interview with Time magazine, U.S. national women's soccer team member Megan Rapinoe targeted comedian Dave Chappelle, accusing him of causing violence against trans-identifying individuals. Ironically, it was Chappelle, attacked by a transgender during his show in 2022. Rapinoe is the soccer player who took a knee during the national anthem and never let up on issues of women earning less in sports than men. Women in soccer won equal pay in 2022, in part because of her efforts. Now listen to this. Women's sports are being weaponized, stating, now we care about fairness in women's sports. Rapinoe defended her stance, defending the trans movement as well. Listen.
I think in general, the trans issue for me is just very much like a human rights issue, because we're not, going to be able to stop trans people from being trans. It's like you can't stop anybody from being who they are. Ultimately, it's just pulling back the right for someone to make their own decision about their own body in their own life. Like, nobody owns anybody else's life. So that's abortion rights, that's trans rights, that's racial justice, that's all of that is tied into that. And I think, the progress that we have made is great, but obviously we've seen that can be rolled back, so we have to stay vigilant to that.
Let me just say, how convenient for her. She announced on July 8th she's retiring after her fourth and final World Cup, which kicks off July 12th. She's leaving women's soccer. So she can virtue signal all she wants because it won't impact her one little bit. It's like John Kerry pontificating about climate change while getting on his Gulfstream 20 jet to fly privately across the world. It's dishonest. It's I can't say that. It's a family show. Her team is the only team, male or female, to win 3 consecutive World Cup titles. Maybe they'll do even better with some guys on the field. I'm just throwing it out there. We'll get back to the news after this quick break and a message from our sponsor, Birch Gold. As central banks in countries like China, India, and Australia begin transitioning to a digital reserve and federal currency, the Federal Reserve here is now contemplating the same for America. With a digital currency, the government could track everything you do, everything you buy, sell, the money you make, what you pay in taxes. Officials could even prohibit you from buying certain products, or even freeze or seize your money. You think it can't happen? Ask the folks in Greece. These are some of the reasons concerned Americans reach out to Birch Gold. They want to have a physical asset that's independent from the U.S. dollar. Gold, held in tax shelters and retirement accounts, is safe. Learn if gold is right for you. Text America to 989898. They'll send you a free information kit on gold. Listen, with an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of happy customers, countless 5-star reviews, Birch Gold has been helping my listeners from the very beginning. Text America to 989898 and claim your free information kit on gold, because if a central bank digital currency becomes reality, wouldn't it be nice to have some gold to depend on, some security out there beyond what the government's going to do for you, or to you, as it were? All right, after the break, we'll have a story that reminds us of how wonderful America really is. And the question of the day, what has been the media's most successful lie of the past 5 years? I know, pick me. Pick me. I'll be back.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we grew sick and tired of flying flags that were made overseas, flags that would rip and tear easily, so we really made a commitment to quality.
All of our flags are finished with bar tacking at all of the stress points, and they are sewn using double needle lock stitching.
All of our flags materials are sourced in America, and they are made by American seamstresses. So we're American made from beginning to end.
Shop now at showallegiance.com.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back! The My Pillow guy!
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you all know that you have made My Pillow 2.0 a huge success. And because of your amazing support, we've expanded My Pillow's USA manufacturing and jobs. To make room for this, we're clearing out our Percale bed sheets. And to thank you, I'm giving them to you at close-out prices. King size, only $39 a set. Queens, $35 a set. Full size, $29, and twin size, just $25. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime offer. Get these My Pillow bed sheets now. Once they're gone for good.
There's a new victim of identity theft every 3 seconds. And checking your credit score or bank statements may not be enough to alert you. That's because identity threats appear in more places than you realize. Identity thieves can use your information to open loans, transfer home titles, even commit crimes.
someone stole my information and tried to buy a car in my name.
LifeLock monitors for threats to your identity, including ones you may miss, and alerts you if there's an issue. And if you're a victim, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it.
If something happens, you have somebody fighting for you.
All plans backed by LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package, including reimbursement for stolen funds.
I know LifeLock has me covered.
LifeLock, identity theft protection starts here. Call the number on your screen or visit lifelock.com/25now and use promo code 25now to save 25% on your first year of identity theft protection. Enroll now.
You know, every day I try to leave you with something nice here on the program because, there's always good news to find out there and things that you can clearly see that make America wonderful. It's true. Never give up, my friends. Here's a moment in Scottsdale, Arizona, when a woman who has battled cancer 3 times recorded herself receiving PET scan test results to her overwhelming relief. The results showed her cancer-free. She then went to tell her husband of 7 years, and together they shared a profoundly moving moment of joy. Here it is. Gotcha. Worth every second, wasn't it? Makes you feel good about life. Joy is important every day. Bring joy into your life. There's joy right there. True joy. What has been the media's most successful lie in the past 5 years? Question today. Mark Mullen says, wouldn't know where to start. Robert Livingston, that Biden is a great president. That's a pretty good one. John Olive says the big lie is conservatives are evil. Shirley Jack Soldowski, that Biden won the election. Ooh, that's a pretty big one. Doyle Horton, that they are fair and balanced. Kenny Sims, that Joe Biden won. A 3rd grade student can tell you that's a lie. We'll leave it there for today. See, I think the biggest lie is take the vaccine. It'll stop the spread of the virus. It'll stop with you. It'll be great. And Anthony Fauci is to be trusted. That's what I'm going to go with. Don't forget, coming up 4 o'clock, immediately after this program, Wayne Allen Root will be with Donald Trump, 45th President of the United States. Coming up in just seconds here. Join me tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to kick off your day. We'll see you tomorrow on AVL.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Imagine a knife taking this much abuse and didn't need sharpening. Introducing the incredible NutriBlade knives, coated with granite stone non-stick and made of stainless steel, one of the hardest substances on Earth. Now everyone can chop, slice, and dice just like a pro. Order right now to get this professional 6-piece set of NutriBlades for just $29.95. We'll even ship them to you free. Get your own NutriBlade knives, the last knives you'll ever buy.
Here are some of the headlines we are featuring today from your favorite news outlets at offthepress.com.
It's a scandal that is nearly 2 weeks old, but the public still knows very little about who left a bag of cocaine near the White House Situation Room entrance. And it appears the stonewalling will continue because the Secret Service is refusing to reveal what its investigation has found so far. The 2024 presidential campaign of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis isn't going great. But one thing's for sure, he doesn't want to be vice president, no matter how many times people link him to frontrunner Donald Trump. President Biden has created another way for illegal immigrants to get into the country in his latest effort to game the border numbers. And the National League finally won an All-Star game after 9 straight losses. A late 2-run homer by Rockies catcher Elias Diaz sealed the win, 3-2. For stories like these and more updates all day long from your favorite news outlets, go to offthepress.com.
Coming to you from the entertainment capital of the world and the crossroads of America, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's America's Top 10 Countdown Show with Wayne Allen Root. These are the stories and opinions you'll never hear from the mainstream media. If you love God, guns, gold, Trump, and freedom, you're gonna love America's Top 10 Countdown.
We are being attacked. Let's go.
So buckle up and hold on tightly. Here's your host, Sir Wayne Allen Root.
All right, Wayne Allen Root, otherwise known as War. The Root's on fire. War on RAV. Real America's Voice with America's Top 10 Countdown. Coming to you from Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. And I am the hardest working man in the entertainment business, certainly conservative showbiz, with the fastest show in the history of TV. By the way, I'm your Casey Kasem, counting down your favorites, combined with Paul Revere. My job is to let you know the communists are here. The communists are here to keep you informed and educated and wide awake and to motivate us to victory, to win this war for the future survival of America and American exceptionalism. My command central, root4america.com. Go there and join my list and get all my information and all my columns and all my commentaries and all my videos, root4america.com. My email is wayneroot@gmail.com, but I also have a new tip line. It's wayneallenroot@proton.me. wayneallenroot@proton.me, not .com, proton.me. And if you have information for me on any, unfolding scandals in the United States with Joe Biden, etc., send it to me, wayneallenroot@proton.me. Now, also, email me for a list of protocols and treatments that I've compiled from all over the world, a new special project of mine from the best MDs and the best medical professionals and experts that I've studied for 3 years now to build your immune system to stay healthy no matter what pandemic the media is hysterically pushing and to mitigate the side effects of the COVID jabs and long COVID. Just email me and I'll send you my updated information, wayneallenroot@proton.me. Proton.me, not .com, proton.me. You can follow me on social media. Twitter, I'm at Real Wayne Root. Getter, I'm at Real Wayne Root. Truth Social, I'm at Real Wayne Root. Gab, I'm at Real Wayne Root. All right, this week is a very special show. It's not your typical Top 10 Countdown. This week I have my interview with the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. That's coming up in the next segment. So I've dedicated all 10 of the top 10 in this week's countdown to my top 10 ideas for Trump to campaign on to win the 2024 election. And not just campaign on, but these are the top 10 policies he should implement after he wins to save America. Okay? Time for the top 10 countdown. The best ideas for Trump. Countdown number 10. So I can win Trump the entire election with just this one idea. End all taxes on Social Security. You just won the vote of 80% or 90% of the entire senior citizen voting bloc with that one move. Plus, everyone 50 and above who's close to retirement age will be thrilled with this one. Why should anyone pay taxes on the money we were forced to pay into the system at gunpoint by the IRS for 40 to 50 years, and we get zero interest while you hold all that money for 40 or 50 years? We paid it into the system, no interest, and then you think you should tax us on the way out? Really? How come no one is talking about this injustice and this royal scam, this Ponzi scheme perpetrated by government. At the very least, we should get our money back after 40 to 50 years with zero taxes, which is the way it was till 1984.